striper fishing with Susquehanna with secret lure. Stay tuned, it's going to be a good one. Down on the Susquehanna Flats with one of my good fishing partners, Captain Carl. Carl, you invited me down for a couple of reasons. One, you kept saying, Bobby, the topwater striper bite is happening here in the middle spring, I guess we would call it. And you also designed a lure for the topwater baits. Tell us a little bit what we have and about your bait.
Well, the Susquehanna Flats is a big open area, and it doesn't take much wind to get it all chopped up. And you get a good foot and a half, 2 foot weight going. And the problem is store-bought topwater lures just aren't made, for that. Mm-hmm. And some of your best striper fishing is in some of the not so pleasant weather. So I set out to design a bait that would do it, and we got the Captain Carl Special, which is just a big chartreuse green, true 5-inch topwater plug. It's all through wired, heavy duty, made for catching these stripers. But I've got the body flared and stuff so that it'll ride over these waves instead of getting caught up in them. Yeah,
that's an important part to think about, because with a regular popper, you're not going to get the action, right, because of the size you have here.
It's heavy. It's got some weight to it, so you can cast it in that wind. Then the other one is the Bubba Shad. Mm-hmm. And the Bubba Shad's proven itself as well. The Bubba Shad has like a real blunt bulldog nose to it, kind of real cupped. Oh, it gives a spit like that.
And look what happens.
All right, you got the net.
I got the net. So
the Bubba Shad has that bulldog nose that it spits, just like you saw there, when others won't. You shouldn't have to extend it.
Okay.
Oh!
Oh!
And as always, that's part of topwater fishing. I haven't been extending it. It's long enough for right here.
Now, Carl, let's just talk while you caught that nice fish a little bit about.
This is catch and release. I mean, sometimes you need to get them in, sometimes you don't. I hossed them in. I wanted to try to get them in for you. A lot of times, hey, you've had the fight, you've had the fun.
Yeah, just get that release.
Let him go. They get to the boat. They're strong, powerful fish. You gotta remember, we're in shallow water. We're in 4 foot of water right now fishing for these fish. They can't go deep, so they want to run. So you're gonna lose some battles.
Yeah, that's an important fact, because they're not gonna nose down.
They're flipping around like he was. And the other thing is, you gotta have the right equipment. Remember, this is all designed for during a catch and release fishery. They don't spawn these flats, but these are your spawning fish that are going up the river, traveling up and then back down. And they're the insurance of the policy of the fishery, is that spawn. So you don't want to keep them out of the water too long. Have everybody, whoever's know before you start casting who's taking the pictures, what camera you're using, have it out, and you want to get them back out there. But the Bubba Shad has a single hook in the back. It was designed, this grass is going to get all real matted up, and then we go to the Bubba Shad a lot of times versus the Captain Carl Special, which has 2 treble hooks. The other thing is, you gotta have the right equipment. If you don't have the right equipment, you're just gonna come out here and kill fish. You're gonna be breaking off, lures and everything else. What I designed these poppers to work with. I use St. Croix, a St. Croix 6.6 medium heavy Tide Master series, so I got the dual foot guides and stuff.
That's important.
Yep, and I'm using 40-pound Iserline Spectra braid.
And why the braid?
The braid holds up to these are quality fish.
Yeah.
I mean, we for the last 2 weeks have been getting, you know, 30-some inch fish, and we've had a couple 41s.
On top water.
Right, they're big fish, and they're fat fish, and they're heavy. And like that fish there, that was a good fish. He had a lot of weight to him. But you got to remember, they're in that shallow water, and they're thrashing, and you're going to lose some battles. But hey, to me, I had the fun. He got right here to the boat. You were ready with a net. Let him have a quick release. Let somebody else enjoy catching them.
Well, let's get those baits out there. Let's see if we can get. Now you said before too that, like we caught that fish there. Once you start one, there's usually more around. Is that correct?
Right. They're schooling fish. This isn't like bass fishing or a lot of other types of fishing where it's rude if you cast, you know, where your buddy was. What you want to do is if I hook one, you want to get right over in there where I was, or if I have one blows up and misses. These are schooling fish. They're going to get together and school, you know, the bait up and all. So a lot of times if you get one, there's another one there working the school.
And they're just podding up these bait fish. Is that it? And then they're going to slash right through them, or
once
kick
they
them up.
Yeah, they're going to get them all tight, you know, bunched up how they want them, and then they're going to go in for the attack. I designed the concept of them and what I wanted them to do. Alan Marchek from AM Lures, he's the one that, you know, hand carves them, makes them. Every one is individually made out of its own individual block of wood. Painted, he does the whole step from start to finish.
But your idea of the design was
I designed the body, the flare, the length, and you know, the cup and the nose and all that stuff.
And how long did it take you to do all that?
I worked with Al about a year to get these 3 lures right: the Captain Carl Special, the Bubba Shad, and then we have a junior, a Captain Carl's Junior. I don't use the junior that much. I go to the Bubba Shad, but you know, some people just want a smaller popper.
And these baits really, you can really drive them a country mile.
Yeah, well, they were designed for that with the weight, and you know, I knew what rods that I wanted to fish these on, so that was all, you know, all part of it, designing it. You know, I didn't want to have to go out and buy a whole new series of rods or something to fish them with, and I figured most of your topwater artificial lure striper guys, they've got, you know, a St. Croix 6.6 medium heavy Tide Master or something equivalent in their arsenal of stuff, and if they don't, then it's a rod that they need anyway. They'll use for a lot of other things. And
it's really important to match that rod and the line with this lure, because like I say, if you had monofilament on here or something like that, it just wouldn't.
These are big, strong fish. You got to be holding on to the rod, and they'd hit it. If you were using monofilament, you just miss a lot of fish. It has so much stretch. You got to hook them. You know, normally this time of the year when we're fishing like this, we'd have a lot of grass out here too. This is, you know, another one of those slow springs. You know, we're not going to really have spring. We're probably going to go from winter to summer. So we got clumps of grass out here, but we don't have a whole bunch of matted up grass. And if we had the matted grass like we should normally expect to have, a monofilament line, you're going to lose the battle every time before you get him to the boat to even enjoy it.
They'll just get into that grass. And
you're just going to feel a great big thump when he hits it and a big swirl, and that's going to be the end of it.
Oh!
Go back, pop it. Don't let it just sit. Give it a couple tweaks.
He was there. What happened, we were talking, and I wasn't paying attention that much, but I had one just blow up on my bait. And what Carl had said is true, is that when you have something blow up, a lot of times if you let your bait stop it and start moving it again, they'll come right back, or cast right behind him, all right?
Right.
Exactly. How do you work this bait?
What you want to do is, you want to get your bait about 4 or 5 inches from the rod tip. Let the rod do the work.